Kirby Air Riders finally got a full reveal, and my eyebrows almost got cinched off by how great the game looks. After 2 whole decades, the classic GameCube title Kirby Air Ride is finally getting its long-awaited sequel after being trapped in the back corner of everyone's mind like a repressed memory that keeps you up in the middle of the night. Considered to be a cult classic and one of the crowning jewels of the GameCube, Kirby Air Ride was released in America in 2003. Developed by HAL Laboratory, the game combined the concept of a racing game and the feel-good rainbows, puppies, and sunshine vibes of everyone's favorite little vor addict, Kirby.
Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Everything that's wonderful is what I feel when we're together.
Masahiro Sakurai, creator of other beloved games such as worked on this little passion project as his last game in HAL Laboratory before resigning and founding his own company, Sora Ltd, wanting to move on to projects he felt like making instead of falling into the trend of exhausting properties into stagnation. You know, like many companies and studios do nowadays. Such grievances that he himself has mentioned from time to time, especially in regards to the Super Smash Bros. Series, which he himself also said takes a huge toll on him and his health overall. The man ain't exactly a spring chicken, y'all. We gotta cut him some slack. But, be that as it may, Kirby Air Ride had a bumpy development due to the fact that it was being worked on along other bigger projects, like for example the Kirby anime and the infamous just to name a few. At the time, Sakurai was overseeing all of the Kirby-related projects that were in development, but almost exclusively worked on Air Ride as a hands-on developer. Now, although the game is very popular within the Kirby fanbase, I have known very little people who have either seen it or played it for themselves, and with the Switch 2 sequel coming out soon, I feel like I'd do a bit of a disservice to one of my favorite childhood games if I didn't spread the good word so I can get people as excited for it as I am. Also, little disclaimer here, I will be explaining Kirby Air Ride from the GameCube as reference since everything about the core game seems to remain unchanged, at least for the most part. Some things will be different in the new one, but this will give you all the context you need to actually understand or at the very least appreciate it for what it is. So, with that out of the way, buckle up kiddos, we're riding out a city trial with this one!
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
So for those of you that didn't know, Kirby Air Ride is a racing game that lets you play as all the flavors of Kirby in different game modes. They revolve around you riding a little starship called a machine. You ride your machine to complete in different racetracks or event stages depending on the mode. These game modes are called Air Ride, Top Ride, and City Trial respectively. Air Ride focuses on the pure aspect of racing, having to choose between the available stages and unlocked machines. You do your laps to the finish line while grabbing abilities and absorbing any baddies you find in the way to gain the upper hand. Top Ride is a mini version of Air Ride where you play a bite-sized track from a bird's eye view. You navigate your machine with tank controls TM while picking up special abilities to gain the advantage. This mode did not appear in the Direct, however, so it's still unknown if it'll make a return or it'll be replaced by something, you know, actually good. And lastly, we have City Trial, the mode OG players refer to as the real game. This is the one that separates the men from, well, the kids who are the actual target demographic for this game. In this mode, you'll explore a sandbox stage with different little areas where you'll find buffs and machines just kinda chilling there, and your goal is to pick a machine and collect the buffs you think you'll need to power up your ride, because at the end of this neat little timer here, you will be thrown into a racetrack, a vibe check, or an arena type challenge. Whoever wins the random challenge wins the game. Now, as far as the gameplay goes, it only requires you to press one button for every single action, so even the average Mario Kart meta slave can enjoy this very simple babby game. You know, since they can't clearly make decisions for themselves anyways, accessibility is the word of the day, everybody. The game also comes with lots of neat little extras, like tutorials that explain literally everything in small words, a huge ass grid where you complete achievements and gain neat unlocks for all you completionists out there, and many, many more. So now that you know the long and short of Kirby Air Ride, let's talk about Kirby Air Riders, aka the sequel. And yes, it is important to distinguish between them because Sakurai said so, okay? Okay, cool. Thanks to the footage that Mr. Sakurai shared in the Direct he hosted, he showed the major graphical upgrade that this game has, as well as the majority of the content that the game is going to come out with once it releases. I swear seeing this man present something is always such a delight. The sheer amount of detail that Mr. Sakurai goes into when showcasing his games is something people have always respected about him as a game developer, especially how clear and transparent he is with his methodology and his process. As such, we can't forget the way he always expresses his game philosophy. He's always prioritized making a game fun through his signature ebb and flow when it comes to challenging the player, as well as rewarding the player for their performance, or achieving something oftentimes very silly or very important. His passion for his projects is very palpable in everything he works on, and Kirby Air Riders is most likely going to be no different. So right off the bat, the game is mwah, chef's kiss. It is beautiful, colorful, and vibrant. It looks like it's staying true to the original game's mechanics, but with many quality of life changes that the original lacked. The GameCube one was fun and had a lot of personality to it, but sadly, it also had some major jank to it when it comes to actual gameplay that definitely makes it feel quite rough and dated. Yup. Any moment now. Now, whether it'll still be janky in its own special way or not remains to be seen, but so far it looks like they addressed many of the problems the original had, which is already a really big W. Kirby Air Riders will also feature a local and an online multiplayer with different player pool sizes for each mode, which is honestly kinda crazy since the original one supported up to 4 local players, and I don't think anyone expected it to become that much bigger in scale, but it is a welcome addition, especially because 6 and 16 racers is actually a manageable number, unlike a certain Fiasco who barged in here recently. You know who you are, you blooper card hussy. In contrast to the original, where there was only 3 different characters and infinite Jelly Belly brand Kirbys to choose from, Air Riders will include, as the name implies, a plethora of iconic characters from the Kirby universe, each with their own unique characteristics and attributes. When comparing both games side to side, it is clear the gameplay also had a few changes for the better, making it seem a little more fleshed out and complete. One of these changes is that the game uses not 1, but 2 whole buttons. I know, this game is not for the faint of heart, but I know you can do it. I believe in you. It was also revealed by Mr. Sakurai himself that there's still more information about the game that he didn't even reveal in the direct, which honestly had me like... And while I'm very happy that Kirby fans are drinking nothing but premium brand strawberry milk right now, it's such a shame a franchise that's comparatively unpopular is getting such a better treatment and an even warmer reception than Mario Kart World. Don't worry, I'm not gonna go off about that game too hard in this video. It's just fair, and it's also very important to illustrate an example here where you can distinguish what a good project looks like and what a neglectful and probably even greedy project looks like. Mario Kart World seemed like a promising new beginning for the franchise, despite the reveal being shadow dropped in a sloppy Switch 2 reveal trailer and then having a direct that was what the kids would call mid. It had the makings of a decent day 1 Switch 2 release game through looks alone, until reality reared its ugly head. No real content beyond the racing aspect, promises of customization that makes Pokemon customization look better in comparison, balancing problems, and boring transition tracks that kinda soften the hype of the actual racetracks, and also a price tag that could end up making me mortgage my own house. Granted, I gotta give credit where credit is due. They tried to innovate, and that will always be something that should be praised. Sadly, innovating isn't always the answer. Kirby Air Riders is still not exempt from becoming that which he was meant to destroy, but knowing Sakurai's track record and knowing there's still stuff yet to be disclosed, all the signs point to this being another banger, and I'll be there to see it and tell everyone about it. Anyways, that's all I had to say about this. I know I skimmed through a lot of information and probably missed a few important tidbits, but if you want to learn more about this yourself, I encourage you to go read the wiki page for Kirby Air Ride and watch the latest Nintendo Direct for the full reveal of Kirby Air Riders. I will leave the links in the description for easy access. Also, do yourself a favor and play the original game. If you haven't played it and you're interested in the new one, I guarantee it'll give you a good feel of what to expect on November. All you'll need is a very legal and real GameCube, and also a very legal disc of the game that you cannot find online very easily if you Google it, so don't even try it. Anyways, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now go enjoy the rest of your day, bucko.